Hi, Patch Drury, board certified hypnotherapist, dream analyst, and Daimon enthusiast. And I have mentioned in previous videos that I grew up reading comics, and I was born in '73, so I read comics all through the '70s, '80s, '90s, even into the early and mid 2000s. I'm not as big of a reader these days, but because of that interest in comics, I have loved the Marvel movies. And in general, I think the movies have done a better job than modern comics. I think the movies are best when they kind of base themselves on the early material from the '60s, '70s, and '80s. But in general, the comics that are running concurrently, being published concurrently as the same time as the movies are coming out, aren't that good, I don't think. And so I think the movies have done a better job with this material, with the exception of the Disney Plus Marvel TV shows. I do not think those have been, well, I won't say they haven't been very good, but they haven't appealed to me. With the exception, last night we had the first episode of Moon Knight, and I thought it was better than every Marvel series that has come out so far. I thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant. And it leads us to the question of this video: is Moon Knight a show about the Daimon? And I will go ahead and answer my question as a comic enthusiast. No, it's not. The comic wasn't, the show isn't, but I think it makes a brilliant metaphor for what life with the Daimon is like. So Moon Knight, Mark Spector, he was a character who had multiple personality disorder. And so that's a real thing, and that's a real disorder. And we never want to make light of it because there are real people who are suffering from this dissociative disorder. And so in the comics, this character who goes by Steven, when we first meet him, he keeps blinking out and coming back and realizing he's doing stuff while he's unconscious. And there's a point in the show where he realizes, oh, there's another personality kind of taking me over. And that personality ends up being Mark Spector, the Moon Knight, this really capable, powerful superhero figure. There were a couple of scenes in it that I just thought, man, that is very much like potentially like life with the Daimon. There's a scene where Moon Knight in his unknowing identity, he doesn't know he's Moon Knight. He's talking to the villain played by Ethan Hawke. And Ethan Hawke recognizes that this character is hearing voices in his head. And this is the Moon Knight character and the god it serves, Khonshu, this Egyptian god of the moon, are speaking in his head. He hears them. And the villain kind of says, like, it's hard, isn't it, when you hear these voices and they're kind of overpowering and they're always telling you what to do, and they seem like sometimes they're going to kind of devour who you are. And I thought, wow, that really sounds like us when we haven't negotiated properly, when we haven't established a healthy relationship with the daemon, because this need to be causative, this need to be creative, can seem to overpower us. It can become too powerful. One of the examples I think we see of this in our culture is the poet Charles Bukowski. Great poet, beautiful work, but he was kind of overtaken by this need, and sometimes he couldn't regulate the need, and it seems like maybe he tried to regulate that need with alcohol and self-abuse and all these things. And so that's kind of, we have this image in our culture of the damaged artist, and I think that's a really it's a really unfortunate stereotype that we've created, that really artistic, creative people have to be damaged and have to be tormented in some way. I don't think that's how it has to be. I think that represents an unhealthy relationship with the daemon, a relationship where you haven't learned how to negotiate with this thing and exert your ego your ego needs a little bit. And so a lot of people romanticize that and they aspire to it. But man, what a what a terrible way to get your art out if it's at the expense of your life. That seems like a really weak position to take. But enough of me preaching. So that's the first scene where I thought, wow, this is really demonic. And then the second scene is the best scene of the episode. And I guess spoilers if you haven't watched it. But he's this unknowing alter ego is trapped in a bathroom being attacked. There's a creature trying to get to him through this door, and he's surrounded by mirrors. And one of his reflections comes to life as Mark Spector and says, "Hey, I can save us, but you have to let me. You have to let me take control. I know how to handle this situation. I know better than you how to handle it, but you have to let me take the wheel." And I think that's a circumstance that represents positive, beneficial negotiation with our daimon. The same way Charles Bukowski in his self-destructiveness is one side of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum is that we are so tightly controlled and things have to go to our plan. And we suppress all creativity and all expression because it seems flighty or daydreamy or not practical. We suppress it because it's messy. Creation is messy. And so we're like, nope, I'm this. Here's what I am. I don't do that. And that part of us that wants to contribute, that is actually a part of nature, that was born as a strong, beautiful part of us, wants to come out, and it says, please let me take the wheel for a little bit. I can make all of this better. I can make life better. I can make it feel better. I can guide us towards successful, fulfilling creation if you'll just trust me. That's what that scene felt like to me, was the daimon begging to be given the wheel every once in a while. And so this show, the character has multiple personality disorder. I think that does not describe the relationship with the daimon, but it is a good metaphor for it. When we have a strong daimon in our life, it can seem like another personality sometimes, kind of clawing at us, talking to us, begging to be a part of what's happening. So if you haven't seen the show and I've spoiled it for you, I apologize, okay? But if you did see it and you liked it, let me know your thoughts. I love this material. I think I don't know if I agree with people who say superheroes and comics are our modern myths. Something about that has never set right. But at the same time, they do have a very mythological side to them, and mythological in the sense that they describe our lives. I think that's what that's what mythology does well. It describes what we personally are going through, and so that's the power of this episode of Moon Knight. And so I would love to hear your thoughts. If you disagree with what I've said, if you think it's insane and crazy and stupid, then go ahead and tell me, or which you guys have been so sweet, I don't suspect anybody would approach it that way, but I just love to hear your thoughts. Okay, thanks guys.